It feels more and more like our digital lives are a battleground, right? I mean, from your own front door all the way to the global stage, there's this constant war being waged for your data, your privacy, and your security. So today, let's explore the front lines of this conflict. And really, how much of your life is a battlefield now? It's a question we're all forced to ask ourselves more and more. It seems like every single week a new front line opens up, some new piece of tech that pits convenience against control. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to map out that battlefield. All right, we'll start right where we live, because some of the most intense fights are happening right at home. We're talking from your front porch all the way to your private conversations online. Let's kick things off with a pretty provocative question. Amazon's Ring is rolling out a new feature that could totally rewrite the rules of privacy for your entire neighborhood. Okay, so here's how it works. Ring's Familiar Faces feature lets users tag people their cameras see. And yeah, it's optional, and this is a big but. Here's the catch. Anyone who walks into the camera's view, a delivery person, a neighbor, a kid chasing a ball, could have their faceprint scanned and stored. And get this, even if they don't use Ring. This is so controversial that states with really strong biometric privacy laws like Illinois and Texas have already banned it. So the really crucial point here is this. It's not just some new gadget feature. This technology creates a massive network of private surveillance cameras that can build a facial recognition database of an entire community. It effectively turns your own private property into a public surveillance zone. And the battle for your data doesn't stop at your front door, not by a long shot. It extends right into your phone, where Meta has a brand new plan to monetize your private conversations. This really shows you the new frontier of data collection. Meta is updating its policy to use your chats with its AI to target ads on Facebook and Instagram. But you gotta notice the exception. It's blocked in places like the EU and the UK. So why? Well, because stronger privacy laws there are forcing their hand, which creates this huge divide in how your data is protected depending on where you happen to live. The battlefield isn't just your property or your phone. No, it's expanding out onto your sidewalks. These delivery robots are rolling into cities. But it makes you wonder, are they helpful careers or are they surveillance machines in disguise? This quote from researcher Edward Ongweso Jr. really gets to the heart of the debate. He argues that companies are deploying these robots not because we, the public, are demanding them, but to make us get used to them. It's a strategy to make them seem inevitable, all while they're quietly collecting data from our streets without us ever saying okay. Okay, now let's zoom out a bit. It's not just about personal privacy. The very infrastructure we all rely on for, everything from communication to commerce is under constant attack. Just think about this number for a second. 300,000. That's how many SIM cards federal investigators seized in a plot to bring New York City's entire cell network to its knees. So, what were all those SIM cards for? Well, they were part of a system designed to send an absolutely astonishing 30 million text messages per minute. The goal was simple but devastating. Jam up the cell towers, plunge millions of people into silence, and knock out the 911 emergency system. This wasn't just some prank. It was a blueprint for total urban chaos. But hey, infrastructure failure isn't always about national security. Sometimes it hits where it really hurts: the beer supply. Asahi, Japan's top brewer, learned this the hard way not too long ago. So a ransomware attack just, boom, completely shut down their modern ordering and shipping systems. To keep the beer flowing, they literally had to go back in time, like back to the 1980s. I'm talking about visiting stores in person, dusting off the old fax machine for orders, and handwriting every single invoice. It's kind of funny, but it's also a stark reminder of just how fragile our modern connected systems can be. So this brings us to our final section, the global digital arms race. While we're all busy trying to protect our homes and, our beer, the major players on the world stage are in a constant battle for dominance. The threats themselves are evolving. In the recent Red Hat data breach, the attackers actually partnered up with the notorious extortion group Shiny Hunters. So what's the takeaway here? Cybercriminals are forming alliances, making their threats way more powerful and their demands much harder to ignore. At the same time, governments and big corporations are locked in this high-stakes standoff. The UK is demanding that Apple build a backdoor to access encrypted cloud data, all in the name of national security. Apple, for their part, is flat out refusing. arguing that a key for the government is also a key for hackers. And Apple's position is crystal clear. As this quote shows, they see any weakening of encryption as a massive threat to everyone's security, and they are not backing down. It's basically a high-stakes game of chicken, with our global privacy hanging in the balance. But it's not just the threats that are leveling up. The good news is the defenses are getting a whole lot smarter and stronger too.
This right here is a real game changer. Companies like the messaging app Signal are rolling out something called post-quantum cryptography. Okay, I think of it like this. They're building a digital lock that's so strong that even the supercomputers of the future can't pick it. This is huge because it protects us from these harvest now, decrypt later attacks, where hackers steal our encrypted data today, hoping to crack it with tomorrow's technology.
And the value of a strong defense has never been higher. $4.5 million. That is the prize pool for a new hacking contest called Zero Day Cloud. Companies are willing to pay millions to ethical hackers to find the cracks in their armor before the bad guys do. You know, this digital arms race even has a marketing front. In a recent ad, Apple took a pretty funny shot at Windows by recreating the infamous blue screen of death. It's a lighthearted jab, but also a pointed reminder that in this battle, security is now a key weapon. So it all comes back to you, doesn't it? In this crazy, ever-shifting battlefield, with governments demanding access, corporations building these digital fortresses, and hackers constantly finding new ways in, who do you actually trust to protect your digital life? Seriously, think about it, because the answer is going to shape all of our futures. Thanks for joining me.